Hi everyone, I'm Shay and I'm going to be taking you through a typical day in my life as a third year maths student here at UEA. So typically I wake up between 7 and 8 in the morning, have a quick scroll through the news headlines and then I'll get up straight away, make the bed and then I'll go downstairs and grab some breakfast. So I'm starting off the day with a bit of self-study just to prepare for a seminar that I've got this afternoon, which is in person on campus, so I'm really looking forward to that. Just before the seminar though, I'm going to head into campus a bit earlier to do some studying in the Russell room, which I'll show you when I get there, and that's essentially the maths study room. So obviously this year is working a bit differently in terms of the lectures because of the COVID-19 situation, so much of the teaching is done online. We do still have some in-person teaching as part of the UEA's blended model of teaching, but as I say, most of the teaching is done online, and this is done through mainly live lectures, but some lectures are pre-recorded. Both have their benefits and drawbacks, but I find that the benefits really far outweigh the drawbacks. So the work I've just been working through is for my combinatorics module, and that is a level 5 module, so technically it's a second year module, but it is allowed to be taken by third years. This is my favourite module by far. And essentially, as you go through your degree, you get to tailor it to more what your mathematical interests are. So in the first year, you'll have 6 modules, which are all compulsory modules. As you move into second year, you do still have 4 compulsory modules, and these sort of build on what you've done in first year. And then you get a choice of 2 other modules. These can be from the School of Maths, or they can be from other schools as well. So I did a computer science module, which was a really nice break from doing maths all the time. And it was really interesting. And for someone who's sort of might want to go into using fluid dynamics or sort of applied maths, that's a really good skill to have. So they do offer stuff like that, which really sort of builds your employability and gets you ready for the real world. Going into third year, you then get free reign of all of your modules. Then if you're doing the M-Math course, which is the 4-year course, again, you have complete free reign on your modules in 4th year, but it is a little bit more limited, and that's just because whereas doing 6 modules, you'll only be doing 4. 2 of those blocks are taken up by your dissertation. Typically, in a normal world, we would obviously have all of our lectures done in person. So lectures, workshops, seminars, as you would expect. A lecture, you've got the lecturer talking to you. A seminar and a workshop are more sort of problem-based. So you'll be giving either a problem to discuss or a worksheet to work your way through, and you'll have the lecturer there and often a PhD student as well who's just floating around. Make the most of them, ask them questions if you get stuck, ask for help, no one's judging you, so just make the most of them while they're there, and the more you ask, the more you'll learn. So I found that the jump between A-level and degree level was really well tailored. Everything was taught as if we hadn't seen it before. So that works really nice, and as I say, it's really well structured for the jump between A-level and first year. From my personal experience, I actually found the jump between AS level and A-level to be a lot bigger than that jump from college to uni. I'm actually in an online lecture now, which is being done live on the Blackboard Collaborate platform, which UEA have opted to use. And I'm just going to show you around the platform just so you can get a feel of how it works and sort of how you can engage with the lecture. So as you can see here, the lecturer is sharing their screen and they're using a writing tablet to write on the screen as if they would write on a blackboard or a whiteboard at the front of a lecture theatre. This works really well, but different lecturers will use different styles of teaching. So some might use slides that's all pre-written, some might use slides and then write on the slides with a tablet. So everyone has their own teaching style and it works best for how they teach. This lecturer is just sharing a OneNote book, which works really well because the book is shared with the students for after the lecture. So if we do miss something in the lectures, aside from being able to view the recorded lecture, we can actually just look back at the notes that they've taken, which works really nicely. We can also see the lecturer's video down the bottom. Here we've got sort of options to raise our hand, we can turn our video on, turn our microphone on, and we've also got a whole range of different sort of interactions that we can do. This works really well for engaging with the lecturer and just showing if we understand what they're teaching. We've got the chat bar here. I've just come out of the chat just to hide everyone's names. But again, this is a good way to engage with the lecturer, ask questions, just engaging however way you want to. Occasionally the lecturer will use breakout rooms as well, where you can get put into a smaller group, and there you'll be presenters automatically, so you'll be able to share content, like share your screen or share files. Again, that works really well. But there's a whole host of different features here. So it's a really nice environment to get involved with the lecture. I'm just packing my bag, getting ready to go to uni now. I have about a 40-minute commute into the city, so quite a bit longer than most students, but I'm actually living at home in Lowestoft, so it is about a 40-minute drive to the Park and Ride, which is free for students to use. And the bus takes about 10 minutes to get to campus. and from there I'm going to study for a bit in the Russell room, as I said, and then I'm going to head over to my one on-campus seminar today, which is the combinatorics module. So let's get going. Thank you. So I've just arrived here in the Russell room, which, as I said, is the maths study room. As you can see, we've got blackboards everywhere, so it's a great way to sort of collaborate with people on work. I like to come here just to study. As you can see, it's quite quiet at the moment because most of the teaching is online, so people aren't really coming onto campus as much. But as you can imagine, in a normal world, this would be quite a bit more busier. Not too busy, but there's a nice atmosphere in here usually, and you can obviously collaborate with people. It's a brilliant place to work. I've just come here to do some peer marking, which is essentially myself and one other student on one of my modules will swap work and we'll mark each other's work. And this works really nicely, obviously to get us talking to other students, and as well just to be able to get feedback on our own work and to be able to sort of have an excuse to go through the answers in depth. I'm just about to head over to my seminar now, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'll try and get some video in there.
If 3 and 5 are in the same connected component of the graph, so if there's a path between them, then I can do a color swapping argument here to swap this with 3. That's the overview of the proof, so there's a lot of ideas in there.
So I've just got home from uni and had some dinner. Sorry I didn't film much for my seminar, but it was quite a small seminar and it was very discussion based, so there was a lot of sort of talking with the seminar leader about our answers to the questions and sort of discussing how we got there and the methods and everything. So I didn't get a chance to record a lot of that. But 50-minute drive home, then I had some dinner, just some stuff out the freezer, so nothing too big. I'm just finishing up some planning for a society event. I'm actually the president of MathSoc, which is the Math Society. So we're just planning an open lecture which is happening in a couple of weeks' time. So just the finishing touches to the plans of that. I'm just going to check in with some of the society members as well, just check everyone's sort of getting on okay, what their plans are for the weekend. And then I've got some martial arts training to do tonight, so I'm really excited for that. This is Kuksul 1, which is a traditional Korean martial art which I'm practicing here in my garage. It's a martial art that encompasses sort of all aspects of martial arts, from empty-handed forms and techniques to weapons such as sword and staff. And it's something that I've been practicing since I was 5 years old, so almost 16 years. So I've just finished up the class and it was a really good one. We did some our general training and then we did some Korean drumming as well, which was really interesting. That's a special treat for us. So as I said, this is something that I've been doing since I was 5 years old. So it's something that I've stuck at while I was at uni. And obviously at the moment we're training from home, which is unusual, but I mean, it's a good way to keep training. A lot of students tend to take up sports and clubs while they're at uni. There's a whole host of sports clubs there. Anything from football and netball and swimming, running, cycling. You've got things like ultimate frisbee and korfball, which were things I'd never heard of before. But there's definitely sports for everyone at uni, and it's a really good way to sort of escape from the academic side of things and meet new people and just sort of enjoy yourself out of sort of outside of the classroom.